everybody, I'm Laura Gale Locke. Wichita Park and Rec is enrolling people now for their spring session. Classes start on March 19th, and this time around we're partnering with several different organizations, and we brought their representatives in here to tell us all about their classes. We have Tamara Brown, who's the merchandising manager for Home Depot. We have Marty Johnson with Johnson's Garden Center, and also Kathy Holt, owner of Farmers Insurance Group. Thanks for being here.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Well, Kathy, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about your class.
What we started off doing was an insurance kind of 101. Learn what your insurance is before you actually need it. A lot of people go online and shop for insurance. They don't really know all that it entails. So it was a great opportunity to get people to come in and learn all the different coverages.
That's great. And Marty, what about you? You're offering 2 sessions, is that right?
Right, we're doing a Lawn Care 101, which is to maybe guide people and have them be able to do their own lawn care themselves in a simple, easy way, save some money, but maybe using fewer pesticides and insecticides and herbicides. So, and then fertilization also. And then we're also doing a introduction to vegetable gardening, which a lot of people, maybe their grandfather, the parents garden and they're not for sure what to do. We're going to kind of start from the very beginning and kind of guide them through starting their own vegetable garden and how they can do it at their own house and save a lot of money in doing so.
Sounds like 2 classes I could definitely use. And Tamara, tell me about your do-it-yourself classes.
Yes, we're very excited to partner with Park and Recreation. We are offering 3 classes right now. One of them, Get Wired. We teach how to install receptacles, ceiling fans, minor replacements, things like that. Give them the confidence they need. Secondly, we're doing Plumbing 101, and we teach toilet repair, how to unclog your drains, things like that to give the confidence as well. And lastly, we're doing wall repair, and that's for small areas. You know, something goes through the wall and you don't quite know how to patch it. We do a hands-on class that's very, very easy to do, and they love to come in and buy the product and do it themselves. So it's a great partnership.
More classes I need. Kathy, tell me a little bit more about the different types of insurance that people learn about and what all they do during the class.
The class that we currently are doing, and we're going to be doing on March 24th, is just another insurance education, the basics of understanding what liability coverage is, either on your home or your auto coverage, and where the risks are, and understanding what type of different deductibles. It's just foundations of insurance. What we are going to also be doing is what you do with your 401ks. So it's a new class we're going to be presenting on the upcoming seasons, and then another one of life insurance. Understanding that sometimes the ones you have with work aren't enough to truly cover you and your family, and looking at things to have as your base life policies.
Good information to know. Do you find that with all the choices out there that people tend to get overwhelmed and maybe need some guidance in these areas?
Exactly. I think with the way that technology has gone for our generations is we've become more self-sufficient. However, we're dabbing into areas that we're not specialists in. We go learn how to do, fix your pipes or plant your garden. No one learns how to buy their own insurance, yet they think they have the ability to go make those online decisions themselves. So I think with the way that it's kind of gearing to is making people realize that they're specialists in this field for a reason, and that not to always trust just going online and doing it all yourself.
Get that expert advice.
Yes.
And Marty, with lawn care, I know we're coming into spring and it's a topic that's on a lot of people's minds. Tell me a little bit more about, is this class good for people who already have lawns or people maybe who just built a home?
Good questions. We're going to, of course, have question and answers, but basically it's what products do you use for a good-looking lawn? And I think most of us maybe have tried it themselves, but aren't for sure about how many square feet do I have? How large of a container of this product do I buy? Do I need to buy a whole quart of weed killer? Many times we've bought too much of what we need, and actually we just need maybe a few ounces. So, and maybe doing spot treatment on weeds and not putting a herbicide over the whole lawn, or maybe even an insecticide also. And also timing is very important in these applications of these products. We follow K-State's recommendations. They've done a lot of research on timing on these products, and we're coming up to really the start of the season for someone that has an existing lawn, and that would be with the crabgrass preventer, and that needs to go on now. And then people won't have to do a whole lot really until later on in the year, and maybe they've been doing it themselves and putting it on at the wrong time and maybe creating problems doing that. If someone has a new lawn, we can kind of guide them through that as well.
Mm-hmm. How big of a difference does it make when you get these different, I don't even know what to call it, on your lawn at the right time?
Okay. Really, once you put the products on at the right time and get a healthy full lawn, you're not going to have issues with weed killer or with weeds, because a thicker, fuller lawn, the weeds can't grow, they can't germinate, there's not room for them. So if we can get people's lawns looking good, nice and full, and using the right type of plants or turf species, going to require less water. And we're going to talk about cultural practices too, where people won't have to water too much, or they won't water too much without overwatering.
Sounds like it really does make a big difference.
Right.
And then what about the vegetable gardening? I'm curious, do you need to have a big spot in your backyard for that, or does it take up much room?
It doesn't take up much room at all. In fact, a lot of people we're seeing, they're incorporating these vegetables in their landscape or in their flower beds. There's a lot of plants, beets, Swiss chard, that are very colorful, and we can incorporate a few of those. Even a tomato plant that doesn't get real large with a cage can be incorporated into a landscape. So most people don't have a half acre, quarter acre, or they don't want to devote 1,000 square feet to that vegetable garden. So we're going to show them how to do that. Then we're also going to have in the class, they're going to have what's called a smart pot, which is they can take home with them. It's a fiber bag that breathes real well, and kind of came from the commercial side of vegetable production, and where they can actually grow a tomato or a pepper, whatever, in that fiber bag, and they'll take that home, so you can grow those on your deck or patio. And to be honest, the only tomatoes I had last year were the ones that were in my containers on my patio, because I could start them a little bit earlier, and they performed very well.
How fun to have fresh vegetables from your own backyard.
Well, I love going out when we're cooking supper and going out picking a jalapeno pepper and eating it, 10 minutes later.
That would be fun. Tamara, tell me a little bit about your classes. For somebody like me who would be a total beginner, never tried to wire anything in their lives, is this something that I could quickly pick up?
Absolutely. We have most of our guests that come to these shows or do-it-yourself clinics actually have no idea, and they will tell you, I'm scared. I don't know. I don't know what this tool does or that tool does. It's very easy. We take it step by step. It's very hands-on. So by the time they leave the classroom, they have that confidence, and they come into Home Depot and they buy their things and they go home and do it. A lot of times they'll come back and say, thank you very much, and bring a picture. It's pretty cool. So we are also offering 2 new classes coming up I wanted to share with you.
Sure.
We have how to install ceramic tile, because a lot of people want to do their own tile. Again, they're kind of afraid, do I need to buy this or how much of that? Very easy process, so we're going to be teaching that in the summer as well. And then how to build a deck. So be good timing for that as well. So
I'd like to expand my deck. I think I'm going to be busy taking all these classes.
Lots of projects for you.
So explain to me a little bit more about when I go into Home Depot, when I take these classes, that they're in the store, and am I actually working on things and trying it out as the teacher's doing it?
Absolutely. It's hands-on. We do have these classes that are offered at these different recreational facilities as well as at Home Depot on site. So they have a choice whether to come to the store or whether to go to Orchard or Linwood or things like that. The schedule you have available, but Saturdays at 10 to 11 for ceramic tile, very hands-on. Anytime that a customer has a question, we will take a product knowledge expert. 1 person, 50 people, it doesn't matter. We want to show them and give them the skills how to do it. So
with those 2 recent classes that you just mentioned, are those for the spring session or the summer?
they're going to be in summer.
In summer, okay.
Yes.
We'll have to get ready for that. Kathy, I know that you've offered a class before. Tell me some of the feedback that you received from some of your students.
I think a lot of them just didn't know how involved insurance was. They thought it was simply, I have full coverage or I have liability. They did not know all the different things that are wrapped into protecting them and their families. And so I think at the core of it, that was what was most informative to them, was realizing that it's not just so black and white, that insurance has all these gray areas.
Well, I do, just myself personally, I've received different insurance offers, from, say, my credit union and then work, and so it does get to be a little bit overwhelming, so I'm sure that would help.
Well, I think the thing is not only is there different companies that offer different products, but there's also just even with state regulations, what the requirements are that each of us must offer. A lot of people just don't understand all the different levels that come with it, and what happens if you file a claim or you shop around and move around in one insurance company and do all those things all on your own.
Mm-hmm. Now, Marty, I know you're new to Park and Rec. What do you think students will walk away from your classes saying and knowing about, these different topics with the lawn and the gardening?
We've done seminars and classes at our stores, and what we're seeing, or the attendees, are maybe younger people, maybe, like I said, they haven't done a lot of this. So hopefully they'll be able to go into the class and know what size of an area that they're going to make into a vegetable garden, and how many of a certain plant. You don't need 12 tomato plants if you have a real small garden area. How many plants they would need to feed maybe 2 or 3 people in a household, and what varieties work best in our location here. Maybe some things that they can do as far as disease or insect prevention, what to look for if something is going awry in their garden, how to water those plants, to use less water, drip irrigation, mulches. So hopefully they'll be able to go into it and know where to find the answers, but also how to get started in planting those vegetables. And also timing is very critical too. Right now we can plant potatoes, radishes, lettuce, onions, but not tomatoes and peppers, where they'll know that later on in April and May they can plant those summer crops.
It's good information.
Yeah.
And I know that you said that people bring in pictures and show you everything they've accomplished. Are they surprised at how much they can do on their own?
They are. When they first come in, they're very hesitant and they're afraid to try these things. They don't want the expense, a lot of them, with contractor, the way the economy is. So it saves them some money, gives them the confidence, and they're pretty happy at the end of the day. So proud of themselves and proud of the project.
That's great. Well, it's been a lot of fun to hear about all of your classes, and I know I'm definitely looking forward to taking some of them. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. You're going to want to look out for this Park and Rec guide at Dillon's stores. You can also download it on the Facebook page under Wichita Park and Rec. You'll also find it on wichita.gov. You'll get a complete list of all their classes and a lot of other great activities. Classes again start March 19th.